The gentleman from Brainerd, it's nice and close, that, you know, it's a half-hour drive.
I would
Some of the
want
others-
to personally meet him first.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, but, and that's, I mean, we could certainly set up an interview, or a discussion next week one day with a person, you know, but do you wanna just do one, do you wanna interview a couple, do you want to do a contract basis, do you wanna do an employment basis, how do you wanna look at that?
What's your wish?
Maybe all of the above, just weigh our options and see what.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, if you're gonna do it on an employment basis, then you have to advertise. I mean, you kinda have to pick one way or the other. Do you wanna have an employee or do you wanna do a contract?
I think we need to do a contract and get it going and get it started.
If you do the contract, it's an interim, that would be a specific period of time, whether it's 6 months or a year or 3 months or whatever you pick. But then, you know, hopefully that person, and I think we've kind of talked about, could come in and somewhat evaluate, you know, what we have here, what we might need, how we would proceed with filling positions as they become vacant, and possibly help in hiring a full-time administrator then. You know, and if you do an interim or someone's on a contract, someone who's retired that doesn't have a personal interest in going from an interim to a full-time position, you know, they might be a little more objective. I don't know.
So what do you do? 1 month or
No, you wouldn't
1
even,
week? Or
that wouldn't even give that person time to evaluate what's going on.
on the duration of 1 month?
Well, if we do a contract, are we going to decide, before we hire a contract, we should decide how long we're going to have him,
Yeah.
so we can start advertising right away.
Or so that person can help you with that process.
With the
But
advertising.
you might want that person to be here a month or two before you actually start advertising for a full-time, because it would take someone who's here for a month or maybe 2 months to evaluate and say, okay, we need an administrator that's strong in economic development. We need someone that's strong in historic preservation. We need someone who's strong in zoning. You know, I mean, an interim person would be able to come in and, like I said, maybe be here for a month or two to kind of try and feel out where we need, what strengths that administrator needs to have. I mean, you're gonna have administrators who have strengths and weaknesses in different areas, and what area do you want this person to be strong in? You know, whether it's a combination of, you know, of items, or if there's 1 or 2 items, or, you know.
If you talk to the person that you want to contract, maybe they can tell you how much time they need.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
You know, we could sit here and put a 1 month, 2 month, and might be missing the whole thing.
Mhm.
Could you get a hold of that person and ask them what they feel, and then bring that back to us?
Well, can't we just bring them in? I mean,
Yeah, you should bring him,
in, see
you
if
should
you like
bring
him
him in and
first.
talk to
Is there
him
only
first.
one to pick from?
No, and
Oh,
that's what I'm
that's
that's
really-
what I'm asking. The individual I talked to was from Brainerd, so nice and close. You know, so he definitely has an interest. If the council wants to visit with more than one person, there are a couple of other possibilities out there that I can certainly call, and we can try and set up a meeting or an interview or something. But that's what I'm trying to find out from the council is how you want to proceed. Do you just want to interview this one individual? Do you want to interview 2 or 3? You know,
So we can start
do you
with one,
want
and
to
if
do
it
a contract
seems like it works
basis?
out
Do
fine,
you
if not, we
want
can keep looking.
Yeah, let's just start with the one and see, because it's a contract. That person is basically
Yeah.
gonna have to do what we specify on that contract. If they don't, well then they break the contract. But I mean, we gotta get started. If we start a process of we're gonna be interviewing everybody, we could go through, like we did last time, 110 people, and this guy is just gonna be, or woman, is gonna be here very shortly. And under a contract that we set, and what we're looking for, I think that, I mean, look at what happened with our inspector. I mean, that's worked out well. And then we only did the one person.
But that was advertised, wasn't it?
No.
It wasn't advertised.
Mm-mm. We got the names from, I don't even, of another community or some, I don't even remember.
Do you personally know the administrator from Brainerd?
I know of him, not worked with him. I've seen him at some meetings and stuff. I know of him, but don't know
And Kathy, do
him
you know him?
very
I've met
well.
him. I've met
Do
him
you
at
think he
meetings.
has a preference, preference of what Contract versus.
You can
Oh,
ask them.
he's definitely gonna want a contract. He will want a contract, he's retired, so he can't go back to being employed, he'll want a contract, you know.
You might come in, might be a complete jack and.
Should we test the waters in the contract for?
Well, let's get, yeah, let's,
Let's just talk to him first and see what he.
What he has to offer, what you guys
Right,
expect,
maybe
what
nobody's
he
gonna
has
care
to
for it at all,
offer,
and we'll have to keep looking.
so we could, try and set that up for one day next week. So the 14th is election day, so you really can't meet that, so you could set it up for the 13th or the 15th, one of those 2 days. Schedule an hour or something to meet with them, and,
Monday's planning
you know,
commission.
yeah, it is. So you could, set up an hour or hour and a half, or whatever you think you need to meet with them, or 20 minutes, I mean, whatever.
What's your preference day? Anybody? How about you two?
It's more important, you guys all get together.
Well,
We shouldn't be in, we'll give him the job description, that type of thing, I think he'd want that, him or anybody,
Mhm.
he or she. But let them review it, and you guys, gals, meet with him and say, yes, we like this, or what does he bring to the table?
Where were the other two from, Lori?
One of them was an interim administrator in a city in northern Minnesota, and I can't remember the name of it. It was a smaller city, and he was an interim administrator, and they were searching for a full-time. I don't know if he applied for the full-time and didn't get the job, or if he just didn't even apply, I don't know. And I honestly don't even know where he lives. I have a phone number for him, but I don't know where he lives, or, I don't know much about him. The other one was the gentleman we talked about, and I haven't called him, but he was the one that retired from Annandale, and I think I gave you guys that flyer that he had put together. And I hadn't contacted him since I knew we had at least one person that was interested in doing this. I thought I'll talk to the council first, see if you want to interview more than one person, if you want, how you guys want this, to work out. And then if we want to interview 2 or 3, I can certainly call him and see if he has an interest.
So what's the-
15th.
On
15th Wednesday?
August 15th, Wednesday? Okay.
and start with this one, and if we don't like them, then we move on to another person.
But tell me Dave didn't want.
We have to give them time to get here, suppose 10, 11 o'clock.
No, whatever time you want.
Do you want to do a day or an evening?
Day's fine with me.
With me, it's either
Yeah, I've got all day.
Jeremy.
Jeremy Bryan
Jeremy
does.
does.
Doesn't matter anyway.
So we'll just set it up for a daytime on the 15th, try and do a 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock type of thing. Okay. For August 15th.
August 15th, Wednesday.
Okay.
Well, you wanna end it at one, see if you can get hold of that one from Annandale and have them come the same day? Have them an hour apart, one at 10, one at 11?
That'd be nice.
We can certainly do that, and then.
Try
we can at
it,
least
talk to
have-
both of them
Okay.
if you're available, and
Okay. Is an hour enough time? Should I schedule an hour and a half? So
Hours
that-
plenty.
Okay. Why do I try and write without my glasses on? Because I can't see.
One bar night.
You think starting around 11, you said?
Well, if we're gonna do 2, we should maybe do one at 10 and one at 11. Otherwise, we're gonna do 11 and noon, and that probably wouldn't work out the best. So we'll try and do one at 10 and one at 11. I will call both of them, and then we'll plan on 10 o'clock on the 15th,
Sounds good.
unless you hear otherwise.
Okay.
or even if that one's interested, I guess you can see,
Yeah, yeah,
The one that she has the telephone number for?
well, that Annandale one or whatever,
yeah.
or that other one, Northern, I don't care. Pick whichever one you can get a hold of, or
Lori, you have the number, you said you have only the telephone number for that man.
For the one up in northern Minnesota, I have a phone number for this other gentleman as well. And he lives, I wanna say he's from like St. Michael maybe, or Annandale, or somewhere down in there, but I have a phone number for him as well, so.
So you'll try him also then?
Right, I'll try the guy from Brainerd, and then the retired one from Annandale,
Okay.
those two,
Or just those two, okay.
yeah.
Anything else concerning, city administrator?
You wanna
Next,
add something? I talked the
no.
whole time, so.
No, it's time, we need to do that, and hopefully have somebody who can help us and make something more permanent, the way that'll serve Little Falls in the community for years to come, so it gives you some options.
I've always said the most important thing about being the council is hiring and firing, if need be.
And difficult, it's important
Yes,
to
yes.
difficult.
Anything else? Okay, League of Minnesota Cities, that presentation.
We have had, committee members, and some individuals ask questions about, how meetings are conducted, conduct at meetings, different things relating to how meetings are run, public input and all that kind of stuff. So, I know that the league, when we were in Royalton last year for the regional meeting, you know, they talked a little bit about meetings and how they're run and different things that happen at council meetings and stuff. And so I called them and just asked them if they would be available to come up and meet with the city council and to meet with any of the committees that are committee members that are interested in attending, and kind of do a review of council meetings, you know, how they're conducted, the conduct, the, you know, different things that go along with the meetings, that type of thing. And they actually said they would be interested, or they would be willing to come up and you know, meet with the council and the committees, whoever is interested in attending. And they would do that, from what I understand, free of charge. They provide that as a service through the league. And so their one comment was they're kind of on a short time allotment as far as the window that they would have to do this, because the regional meetings start on September 12th. And so from, you know, the first part of September through the end of October, they have several staff people going to these league regional meetings. And so if they are going to do it, they would prefer to come sooner rather than later. So they actually gave me 4 dates, the proposed dates, which are August 15th and 16th and 22nd and 23rd. So that's a Wednesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday. So if the council has an interest in having the league come up and do the presentation, we would invite the council and any committee members that would be interested, and they would do a presentation on this process, or, you know.
How long would the presentation go on?
I don't know. I did email them that and ask them, you know, if it would be an hour or 2 or whatever, so we kind of have an idea what time to start or be able to plan for that. And I did not hear back from them. So I would guess it would take an hour and a half. I wouldn't think it would go more than 2 hours, just because it just gets too long. So I wouldn't think it would take that long, but I don't know for sure.
Would it be too much to have it on the same day as you have your, we set up for the, yeah,
For me,
on
it
the
would.
15th, and do it in the afternoon, like 1 o'clock?
That wouldn't work for me.
To me, and this is just a thought, I would think you might want to consider doing this in the evening, like at 5 or 6 or 7 or something, because
Committee
several
members.
committee members, you know, have jobs, you know, they work during the day. And so if those committee members have an interest in attending, it might be more difficult for them to come during the day and set aside, you know, an hour and a half to 2 hours to do that, so.
Sooner the better for me, and I don't care if it's at 5 or 6 o'clock, it doesn't matter, but I think it's something that needs to be addressed.
Right now, the 14th is the primary election.
Right, no, it's the 15th or
15th is
16th.
our city admin
15th, 16th,
day.
well, on on the 15th, we have the city administrators,
Yeah.
and then, but the 22nd or 23rd would work for me.
Same here.
That's the start of the state fair,
Oh,
23rd.
So
About the
should we try
16th?
22nd?
We better do the 22nd,
Try the 22nd.
Or does that, will they
or the
also,
16th.
will they also touch on like open meeting violations and things like that?
We can if we want,
I
yeah.
would like
Okay.
them to talk about that type of thing.
So that's the 22nd.
So, yeah, let's shoot for the 22nd, then we can send a memo out to all the
Yeah.
committee members as well, so that if they have an interest in attending, and I'll try and schedule that with the league, we'll send out a memo to the committee members. So that's it's just 2 weeks away, so that will give them time to arrange schedules if they want to.
22nd, you said?
Yeah,
Yeah.
22nd.
Will you let us know right away though if to confirm it
Oh, I can do that.
for me, for my schedule?
Do you have a time for that?
Let's try, how about if we try for 6 o'clock, okay? That way if it goes 2 hours, we're done by 8, and if people work, till 5, that gives them time to get home, get cleaned up and get here. Is everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Okay,
Anything else?
well, that'd be it.
Hold this meeting at 5:18.
Actually, I would like to ask a couple questions.
Yeah, it has to pay this though.
Well, the meeting's
Nothing
closed.
You close
The
it.
meeting's
It's
closed.
closed.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, then I'll have to ask during the regular city
Okay.
council.
For your closed meeting, somebody, if they would be so kind as to put what time you start and what time you stop for
I
the
can
closed
do that.
meeting.
I'll do that.
Just I need to have that for minutes, record of minutes. And then whenever you're done with that, we'll start the regular meeting, but you can't start your close till 5:30. So,
Oh, okay.
Should I just say it started at 5:30 then?
if that's when you start, if you start at
Okay.
5:32.